Holy cow, this thing looks like it needs some work, man.
I'm Dominick and
And I'm David Fedor. Join us as we explore the fun things to do on and off the trails of Western Pennsylvania.
And remember, your next adventure is just a biker hike away.
All right, Dan, it's been about a week. You had a chance to go over and tune up and fix up my bicycle. Looks great. Just right off the bat, I could see that it's a lot cleaner. But tell me what it was.
Well, you definitely ride this bicycle, I could tell, and it definitely need a pretty thorough tune-up. So the tune-up's pretty thorough, but as you mentioned, it's very clean. One of the things that we do when we do our tune-ups is what we call a wash and lube. And we'll take the wheels off, we'll take the bike outside, we'll use some simple green, some different brushes. We kind of scrub the bike down. And that's an important part of the maintenance of the bike because the trail dirt, that real fine cinder grit, it really gets into things. So we want to kind of wash a lot of that out. It also allows us to completely degrease the drivetrain without completely disassembling it. So it's kind of a cheaper way to degrease your bike. So once we wash the bike and we degrease it and get everything cleaned up, we really go through the bike from head to toe. And the first thing that we do is we go through, we adjust the hubs, the bearings, okay? And in your case, they needed adjusted, but they were very smooth when they were done. So that'll add a lot of life to the hubs and the wheels themselves. We make sure the crank bearing is thoroughly adjusted. We take the crankset off and we adjust those bearings. And then we pull all the cables off. We go through and we set up the brakes and the shift. The cables are really crucial because the shift systems, when you turn this and it clicks in and out of gear for you, that has to have no friction in the system. So one of the things we'll do almost on all tune-ups is replace all the cables.
I was going to say, these all look brand new because
yes.
I know mine were getting a little old and a little rusty, and especially the gear shifting was very loose.
Yes, and I'm very specific about cables. For example, this is a SRAM shifter. Now, SRAM uses their own cables inside there. It's a 1.1 diameter cable. Shimano uses a 1.2. And we make sure that we put stainless steel cables on the bike because they'll slide a lot smoother. We put new housing on. These cables have a Teflon lining inside of them, and that allows for the cable to shift back and forth with no friction. So again, we go through, we restring all the cables on, we set up all the set screws. We use a tool like this. It's called a Derailleur alignment tool. And what this does is we actually take the derailleur off, and this threads into its place, and this allows us to make sure the hanger on the frame is straight and parallel to the cogs. So when we work on the bikes and we work on the derailleur systems, we treat it as a complete unit. It's not just the derailleur, not just the set screw, it's everything. It's the shifter, the cable, the hanger on the frame. So we treat it as a complete unit. So we went through with that with your bike. We set up the gears and adjusted all that. Went through and set up your brakes. Now the same thing with the brakes. New cables, new lines. But you'll notice these little silver things here. These are called brake noodles. And this has a little Teflon liner. And again, we're trying to eliminate all the friction. So we put new noodles on here, which allows the cable to move a lot smoother. Now I saved your brake pads. Where do you see these guys? These brake pads, as you can see, all the aluminum and debris and metal that's embedded inside of those.
Wow.
Now normally in the tune-ups, well, before we wash the bikes, we'll take a piece of sandpaper that I have on a little file like this, and we'll have the wheels off, and we'll actually file the surface of these while they're mounted on the bike. But in your case, these were so loaded up with aluminum, it wasn't worth salvaging, so we just took those off. And again, we try and use like Shimano or SRAM, try and use the appropriate components. There's a lot of cheap aftermarket stuff out there. It really doesn't work as well. Just like I mentioned about the stainless steel cables earlier, it really makes a difference in the actual repair, okay? And if you take a real close look here, we've been so proud of our work, we signature it. If you look real close, there's a little teeny tiny Z cramped in there. That's the Z and spoked wheels. So that's my signature that I actually worked on your bicycle.
Awesome. That is so cool.
So yeah, we do a lot of pride. The other things that we did is, set up the brakes and the shift. We actually use a protractor like this, and what we'll do is we'll get the bike level in the stand, and we'll actually put the protractor on the brake levers, and we'll set them at about 45-degree angle. Okay, when the bike's level in the stand, we measure all that off. So we put a lot of pride into the work, and then the final step that we do is we'll actually go out and test ride the bicycle. As I mentioned to you when you brought the bike in, we can set the bike up in the stand and get it to shift and brake and etc. But when you take the bike outside and ride, we want to see how it shifts under pressure. We want to see if the brakes are squealing. We want to make sure the handlebars are straight. A lot of those things you can't simulate on the stand. So to me, the test ride is one of the most important things of the repair to finish it and finish it off.
So how'd she ride?
It worked out really good.
Nice.
This is a very nice bicycle you have. I like the way you have it set up, and now that it's all tuned up, I think you're going to notice a huge difference.
Awesome. And then the actual wheel, the problem that I was having before, you said it was part of the actual rim?
Yeah, there's a liner inside the rim. So basically the spokes come through and there's a hole for the spoke nipple to come down through. So there's a hole, there's 32 hole wheel, there's 32 holes drilled in that rim. Well, 33 with the valve. But what happens is the inner tube was getting sucked down inside there. The rim strip was a thin rubber one. So we took that off and we put a Velox tape on there, which is like a thick cloth.
A Velox
it's
tape.
much more durable.
Velox.
It's
I've
a lot
noticed
more
what-
durable. And yeah, so basically your tube was getting kind of sucked down into the rim strip. And
that was a tube that I replaced myself at one point.
Yes.
So you mentioned like my stem was crooked whenever I
Yes.
brought it in. You said that was because it was shifting inside properly and
Yes.
not put right. So.
Yeah, and some of the things that you can do yourself maintenance-wise is, number one, is keep air in the tires. Ideally, every time you get the bike out, you should top the tires off. Realistically, once a week. Air pressures are stamped on the sides. There's usually a range, somewhere like, I don't know, we'll say this. I think these go up to like 80 or 90 PSI, but they'll be
okay.
like 50 to 80
Yeah, I was going to say, I
PSI.
think this one says 58 PSI, it says on here.
There you go. So what we do is we'll look for the range. We usually pump them up to their max range. But if you remember when you brought that in, that valve stem was cocked to the side. And what happens is these are inner tubes in there and they bleed that air off. So if you pump this up and let the bike sit for a couple weeks, when you come back, that tire will be almost flat because it bleeds off. It's not airtight. So what happens when you don't do that and you ride the bike, the tire shifts on the rim and it'll take that valve and move it about a 45-degree angle and it will get cut.
And I was having trouble even getting the the pump on.
Yes.
So that plays a lot into it. So at some point, I'd love for you to show us a little bit of how you do some of these things, how you take a wheel on and off, and maybe on a future
we can
episode
run
you
through
can do
that.
that.
That's
That'd
no
be
problem.
awesome.
And the cleaning, we can go into a little bit more of cleaning.
Yeah,
on the
for sure.
bicycle.
Because it looks so great. Now, lubrication is another thing that mine was very dry. You said mine was like a desert.
Yes.
And I could just visually see that it's better. So learning that upkeep is important,
Yeah,
especially
and
for
if
me.
you look on the bench here, we got 3 different lubricants sitting here. There's Tri-Flow, we got Finish Line Dry, and Finish Line Wet. Now this is for like off-road riding in the mud and the water. It's kind of a thick, almost like machine oil. It's very, very dirty, but it will protect from a lot of water. This is what we recommend for on the bike trail, this dry lube, and we'll even show you how to apply that. And then this is Tri-Flow. This is kind of a general lube we use for the different pivot points on the derailleurs. We put this inside the cable housings. These two right here attract a lot of dirt. This is called a dry lube, so it doesn't attract as much dirt. And this is what we recommend for on the bike trails.
And that's something I've read in the past is not using WD-40 and stuff on there
Yes.
because that attracts the dirt and traps it.
Yes, yes.
So making sure to have the right lube in there is important.
Yeah, WD-40 is more of a penetrant oil. A lot of these have like a Teflon in it, which will actually, it'll do a better job of coating the chain.
How often should I put lube on there?
Well, yeah, I would look at how you're riding. Like, it's been really hot lately. The bike trail's very dry. You may have to lubricate it every single time you ride.
Oh, wow, okay.
But you may be able to go a few rides. It really depends on mileage. I would monitor it. You can see the chain kind of looks healthy, and there's kind of a glossy little feel to it. That chain's obviously just been lubricated. It's basically ready to go. But as that dries out, and if the chain starts to get rusty or squeaking, you're way past due.
Okay.
And keeping the chain clean and keeping it lubricated and keeping the derailleurs adjusted, that will play a big difference in the life of how long the drivetrain and the chain will last.
So I had this for many years in storage, finally got it out, been riding for about 2 years semi-regularly. How much life do you think this bike still has?
Well, now that we just tuned it up, there's a ton of life in the bike. The most important thing is the bearing races are solid. If you remember when you came in, I measured your chain with a chain tool, and I wanted to see how worn the chain is. That's one of the things that we monitor, because people will say the chain stretches. And when the chain stretches, it does physically get longer, but it starts to wear the profile of the cogs and the chain rings. And we'll have people that'll come in and they'll put a chain on there. And the next thing you know, it's skipping under pressure because the chain is now nice and tight, but the profile of the cogs have already worn.
Gotcha.
It's like a set of car tires. It's hard to put a number on it. 1,000 change it or 1,500. There's too many variables. It depends on how you ride, how much you maintain it, what gears you ride. That's why you really need a tool to monitor how worn that is. And that is one of the key things we check in the tune-ups, is to see how worn the chain is and does it need to be replaced.
Cool.
So yours is in excellent shape right now. There's a ton of life in there. My only suggestion on the bike is your brakes are a little bit out of adjustment, and it kind of cut in just into the skin of the tire there. The tire structurally still sound, but I mean, really,
yeah.
I think I'd get that off of there in the near future. Okay. Your braces here are getting a little bit beat up, but they're not rubbing on the tire. Other than that, the bike itself is in excellent condition.
Awesome.
So I think you'll be good to go.
All right. Well, I appreciate the education and the thorough work. I really, really am excited and getting ready to get this back out on the trail. Let's square up here, and then Dominic, me and you, we're going to go ride the Coal and Coke, baby. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks.
Dave, this place looks very familiar to me.
This happens to be the exact spot where we broke down and had to give up.
You broke down.
Correct. Yeah, my bicycle, but it's back. It's better than ever. I have to admit that I am a little embarrassed by how underinflated my tires were, and now we know why I've been huffing and puffing, because I'm sure it's not anything to do with my conditioning. It's totally the bicycle.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Thank you for giving that to me. But we're back, and we're back with a vengeance. We're here to complete the Coal and Coke Trail.
Yeah, we have to do it. The whole way to Scottdale from Mount Pleasant, 7.3 miles one direction, and then back. What's that equal?
Too many. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Oh, wow. This is so much easier.
Wait up, dude. The guy gets a new bike and all of a sudden he forgets about the little people.
I can't hear what you're saying. You're so far behind me.
I'm trying, man.
What?
You're like greased lightning all of a sudden.
I'm so good at this.
Guy gets his bike fixed and now he's shot out of a cannon. This is the fastest he's ridden yet.
All this time I thought I was out of shape. Here it is. My bike just needed tuned.
This is the Coal and Coke Trail. It's already a pretty trail. Had you maintained your bike better in the first place?
Right.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Had you maintained your bike better in the first place, we would have been able to see this earlier.
This is true. I would have high-fived that guy, but I didn't.
He did want to high-five
He
you.
wanted a high-five. So if you're watching this, sorry I didn't get a chance to high-five you. I was holding the camera with one hand, didn't want to take the other one off my bike.
Do you think he recognized your flowing locks?
Must have been the hair. It's probably flowing even better now that I'm able to cycle faster,
It's
right?
amazing. You should pack some 8x10s in the back of your bike to give away. This reminds me that Henry Frick is from Scottdale.
He had great hair, is that what reminded you of that?
No, in my research it said he was very disliked.
Oh, Nice one, Dom. Oh, what's up there, you think? Oh, gotta make a Yui. Something cool up here. You see something like this on the side of the road. Gotta go check it out. What is up here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Dominic!
Dave, what have we uncovered?
What is this? Nobody told us about this!
How, oh, you got it, hold on, hold on. Let's get ready. Look, there's jumps and bowls. Dave, go for it. He's going. Yeah.
Oh man, look at this place.
Bikes and hikes heaven.
Now clearly, this is probably more for like dirt bikes or like heavy duty dirt bikes. Mine's a hybrid, so I should be all right a little bit. You wanna ride around a little bit?
Oh, absolutely, we need to. This is called, for somebody that's never seen this is called a slate dump. I don't actually know what slate is, but I know it's good for riding bikes.
And for the record, I've seen no signs that say no trespassing, and there are other tire marks all over this place.
And there was a lot of entry points too,
Yeah,
and a lot of tracks.
let's have some fun.
Whoa. Yeah. Oh. Was that bikes and hike there? Let me find a bump. Oh.
There wasn't even a bump there, you just willed that.
Yeah, brother. This is a lot of fun.
Now I wish we brought our helmets. So we even said, this is gonna be a nice leisurely trip on the trail, short trail through the woods, very scenic. We're not gonna go hard today, so we didn't wear our helmets. If we knew that this existed, we would have both helmeted up. I probably would have put pads on my knees and my elbows too, man.
I'm laying down, so Dave better stay on the track here. Let's see, he's really warming up. He's like a couple hundred yards out there. He's like Evel Knievel. Oh yeah.
Oh! That one made my heart skip a little bit. That felt good.
You almost went over that ridge.
No, I had it all the way. Whew, all right. Let's get going on this trail. We're gonna be here all day. All right, Dominic, we just got off the slate dump, had some fun. I honestly felt like I was 12 years old, doing bike tricks in the backyard, setting up bricks and trying to jump them and bash through them.
Tell me about your bike when you were growing up. What'd you have?
Huffy.
Huffy, I had a Huffy too. What did it look like?
It was red and white. I think it was like a Laredo or something.
Back in the day, first I had a bike my parents made for me. They got it at a garage sale, and my mom painted it black and yellow.
Nice.
So that was pretty sweet. And then I had a Huffy Rad style.
Nice.
It was neon green and white.
Mine had a banana seat. It was like a slow rider. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It's still at my mom's house, like in the
Really?
back shed. Yeah.
You got to ride that for an episode.
Maybe I'll take it over to a shop and get some new wheels on it or something. See, now this is more of the nice leisurely trail that we signed up for today.
Yes. The train tracks are really pretty too. Through each of these openings, you could see train tracks. Almost a sign that industry and nature can coexist.
Or nature will reclaim.
Yeah.
Here we got an underpass here. What is this, 119? No, 819. No, 819 exit. Here's a cool underpass. Ah, check out, whoop.
Oh my goodness.
We gotta stop again.
Look at that.
Holy cow.
Ride me, bicyclers.
Wow.
That looks like a big dip there. It looks rideable, but I don't know.
Well, I'll let you know. Ooh. A lot of rocks up there. Some muddy over here. Let's go. All right. Oh, this is a lot smoother. Well, maybe not that much smoother. There's too many rocks on this side.
Yeah.
All right, come here and get a picture at least.
You hold it.
Oh, here's
Oh,
a
the
pretty
pond.
thing. Here's the pond.
I could see you jumping in that, Dave.
If it was a little bit hotter,
Yeah.
I would. But we got a sign over here too. In memory of Dwayne Woolley, founding board member of the Coal and Coke Trail.
Which it is a nice trail.
Dwayne, you did an awesome job. Thank you. Nice overlook here. There's another nice bridge over here too. Pretty cool.
Up a little hill. Trails aren't
paved.
always. This looks just like where we passed before.
This is the Robert and Irene Stout Trail access.
Well, thanks, Robert and Irene.
And this is, all right, looks like there's a sign over here. It says trail
Trail.
this way. West
Trail,
Overton
right.
Village Trail
funny.
this way.
That says trail right.
Hold on, wait, whoa, wait, stop, check it.
What?
We have options.
Do we?
Yeah,
Ah, West Overton.
West Overton Trail that way. Coal and Coke Trail
Oh.
straight, I'm guessing.
You know, the West Overton is actually a Civil War village that still remains.
Yeah, that's a, Frick lived there. He was born in one of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
buildings. We've, Marilyn Forbes has done some shows from there.
There's a
They have
distillery there.
Whiskey distillery. They're
a
distilling.
blacksmith.
Yeah, they do a lot of cool stuff. And there's a venue for weddings and stuff. So we could either go check that out or keep going straight, I'm guessing.
How dare you put that on me? Well, he said it wasn't that far up the hill.
Well, I think we're close either way, right?
I think we got to do it.
To the historic village? Or do we go straight Coal and Coke?
Well, we said we were going to finish the Coal and Coke.
we did say we were going to finish the Coal and Coke, so maybe we keep going Coal and Coke and we save West Overton Village for...
West Overton, we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Thank you for Henry Frick, but we'll
yeah,
be back.
but we have unfinished business with the Coal and Coke Trail. All right, here we have the Coal and Coke Trail sign, making a left. So here we are. Is this the end of the trail? No, it's not the end. This is Jacobs Creek Multi-Use Trail, Borough of Scottdale. Look at that.
Scottdale's a beautiful town. Most peaceful street in the USA.
According to the street, we're gonna make a left here and go into this park now.
I want to go downtown, downtown. Wow, this is really a pretty street. I don't know what it's called. Pittsburgh Street. Pittsburgh Street, and look. Ah,
Where'd you go?
look at this. Look, it's Pittsburgh Street.
Yeah, so this is like the town center. They have like car shows and stuff and picnics and parks here, in addition to that other one. And then down the road is some tasty restaurants, the Geyer Theater. We could let's take a loop around this area and oh, look at that place. That's awesome. These diners, these antiques and collectibles. Oh, we have to go in there.
Look at that bike.
And then of course, the Geyer.
This is a great trail, Dave.
Yeah, look at the nice scenic end. All right, we did it. We conquered the Coal and Coke Trail. We made it all the way from Mount Pleasant right here in Scottdale.
The whole way.
The whole way. Great job, man. And how could you end a trail any better than the beautiful, scenic, historic Scottdale?
It is a perfect small town USA. It's absolutely beautiful, and the people were so welcoming. When we went in the stores,
Yeah, the shops and the stores were cool. The old buildings are beautiful.
a water fountain.
A water fountain that works in a park. And then of course, this beautiful gazebo where so many things happen right here in this heart, like the car shows and the concerts in the park and
Fall
all the
festival.
things, festivals. Check out Scottdale and come down here. If you thought you saw anything cool,
Yeah, get here.
you won't regret it. A lot of fun. So we're gonna head back to Mount Pleasant the way we came.
Let's do it.
Whew. Dominic, we set out this morning at 10:30 a.m. to do a nice leisurely day up and down the Coal and Coke Trail.
You called me and said we were going to do a leisurely day. Then we get a mile down the trail and Dave's like, what's that?
So right away, we got off-roading adventures up the slate dumps with all the cool hills and all the fun.
Slate dumps calling. Bike, it would say bikes and hikes.
That's the dream,
Bikes
is
and hikes.
finding the stuff like that and how scenic and cool that overpass was. And you'll never guess how many miles we rode today. I set my watch. Guess how many miles we did today?
Well, let's hear it.
17.48
goodness.
miles. 17.48 miles.
So me being tired right now is reasonable.
So both of us looking disheveled and
Yeah.
feeling tired makes sense because the 5 miles there and back.
Plus we hiked.
Plus we hiked up a little bit and went around. We drove around that slate a lot. That was
You
fun.
caught air.
So for 17.48 miles today, man, we did it.
It was so much more than we expected. I mean, the whole experience, I would say to anybody, get out,
Yes.
get to Scottdale, get to Mount Pleasant, and ride the Coal and Coke Trail.
Like once you get to Scottdale, like who knew that there'd be so much fun just riding around that historic town, seeing all the cool buildings. So we went to the antique shop. We checked out the gazebo. Just
it was really
so much fun. And you know, 4.5 hours later, here we are now with exhaustion creeping in,
Sunburn.
sunburn. Yeah, we had
Maybe.
some fun, man.
Hey, and you know what we have to say, Dave? Remember, memories are just a bike or hike away.
Thanks for watching.